LeBron. They're in the interview room.
LeBron, how would you put this whole night into context with you coming back, the ankle, AD's first game since February, the stakes, the Pelicans, having the lead, your big third quarter? What's the big picture?
The big picture is that it was pretty much a must-win for us, and we didn't get the job done. We had great opportunities throughout the night, and we didn't make enough plays down the stretch while they did. So that's the big picture.
LeBron, looking ahead to Sunday, quick turnaround, but there's still a path forward here. What's going to be your mentality over the next 36 hours, whatever it is, and where do you think you are as a group?
Say that again. What's the last part?
And where do you think you are as a group?
Well, for me, personally, is to get started working on his ankle. Obviously, it's pretty sore right now, and early start on Sunday, and hopefully it reacts the proper way for me in the morning when I wake up, and I have no setbacks. So, for me, that's the most important thing for me. Us as a team, obviously, is a tough loss for us. So, we get an opportunity tomorrow to kind of decompress with the day off and then get back at it on Sunday.
LeBron, I think with 4 minutes left, I think you were up 106, 103. Those last possessions for you, I think you guys missed 6 of the last 8. What changed offensively for you guys, or did the Pelicans adjust, or how do you look at those last possessions?
I believe we got some really good looks. Offensively, some of our sets, we didn't get into our sets, a lot quicker, able to execute down the stretch. But we missed some really good looks. Obviously, Russ had a good path to the lane. Kind of got shoved a little bit by Valanciunas on the layup, missed that. We had a 2-on-1 break. We believe that was a foul on Russ's alley-oop from Malik. AD had 2 great looks as well. I had a great look at the end. Fell a little short, so. And they made some tough ones. CJ going across the lane, going left against AD. BI off balance versus me going left as well. They made shots and we didn't.
LeBron, you've been pretty honest this year about kind of the challenges you guys have faced and kind of where this team has been at certain moments. The math just gets really tricky from here in terms of catching San Antonio and getting to the 10 spot. Does taking this loss, you called it a must-win, does it feel kind of like maybe the end of that chase?
Well, until it says we are eliminated, then it doesn't. So, to that moment, then we'll know what our destiny is. But right now, we don't. So, just keep pushing forward.
LeBron, in a big picture sense, so few things have gone right for this team since opening night. Does that make it harder in those moments, in winning time moments? Do you feel all of that sort of collective, as a group, you think, everything going wrong, that you could feel it in the crowd a little bit, the energy change?
Yeah, for sure.
Does it all feel sort of cumulative in those last 5 minutes?
Yeah. I just feel like you can't catch a break. No matter what's going on the floor, I just feel like the ball bounces the other way and the ball doesn't always bounce in our favor, or the call doesn't go in our favor. We had to, feel like it was AD played his greatest defense he could on Valanciunas on the one, and on the jump hook, we felt like he just stood there, arms up, and Valanciunas off arm winning the AD. And then I drive the lane, and BI pokes me in the eye, no call, right after that happened. And it's just like, when it rains, it pours for our year, and it's just the way it's been going. Yep.
Anthony, just wondered how you felt physically, first of all, and then trying to gauge that within the context of this kind of a game, right? And LeBron said must win. How did you balance those 2 things, and how do you come out of it?
I felt good. Last 4 minutes, it was definitely a struggle for a start, getting a little sore. But until that point, I felt really good. Like I said, we know the situation that we're in. And, even though, soreness in the foot, soreness in LB's ankle, we felt like this was a game that we had to play, and obviously the next 5 games as well. Just try to control what we can control, You know, our mindset has to go 5-0 in these games and let the chips fall where they may. You know, we dropped this one, but we got 5 left to try to, you know, control what we control and hopefully things, you know, fall in our favor.
AD, as you neared the return tonight and you saw the events of the last week, from LeBron getting hurt to the big lead y'all had in New Orleans to, you know, the way the Dallas game went, did your urgency ramp up? And just what was it like as you neared this moment of getting back in the lineup?
The urgency was always there to try to get back. You know, the foot was just not participating. And then after the road trip, it was just like, all right, we just do it, just go and just see what happens. So not all the way, you know, where I wanted to be, but and maybe that's why that discomfort was in the fourth quarter. But so I got a day off tomorrow to try to get it ready for Sunday. They say it's a quick turnaround, so do everything in my power to be ready for Sunday.
AD, just following up on Dave's question, I mean, when you were looking at this return, how much of it was your guys are kind of out there and battling and trying to make this push for the playoffs and you're not out there with them? How much was that a factor going through your head?
It was always tough, you know, just being on the sideline, you know, when the guys are out there battling every night, and especially in the situation that we're in, you know, and this is definitely a huge game for us. So I definitely didn't want to sit out this game. Even want to play in the last New Orleans game as well, that whole road trip.
Yeah.
That was my initial thought. Like I say, the foot wasn't quite ready for me to go out and play.
Yeah.
Knowing that the game in New Orleans was also a big game for us. And so just trying to come back as soon as possible, and, you know, was able to come back tonight. You know, like I say, it felt good, but, you know, it sucked that we just didn't pull this one out.
AD, just given all you've been through the last 2 years, is when you, even just when you're trying to shrink down the rehab to just your foot and just kind of come back from that injury, is it hard not to think about these things as just one solid chunk for you the last 2 years, just things popping up and stuff that keeps you off the floor?
I'll try not to think about it. I mean, injuries are part of the game, obviously, and unfortunately, I've, you know, been hit with a couple of them over the last couple of seasons. But, you know, I try to get back on the floor as soon as possible when those things happen and go out and help my team. And then when it gets to the point where I feel like I can play, whether it's fully healed or not, then I go out there. But overall, it just sucks that I haven't been able to, you know, be on the floor as much as I wanted to help the team this year and also last year.
AD, so much has turned over with the Pelicans organization since you were there, top to bottom. But does it add to kind of the singular nature of the experience to, you know, twice this week? I know you weren't on the floor earlier this week, but the team that, you know, forgive me for being dramatic, but like kind of ripped your guys' heart out this week is the team that you have so much history with. Obviously, the Lakers kind of have the history of getting you here. Does that add to the experience in some way or affect the experience if it was just like some other team?
Not personally for me, maybe for them. But for me, it's another game. You know, obviously you want to win those games, but, you know, to take it that deep, I don't look at it like that. I just try to go out and help the team win. It just so happened that it is New Orleans, but, you know, they get really excited when they beat us, and, you know, their social media team does all this other things, but, you know, we just try to go out and win, and they had the upper hand on us this year, and they have all right to do so. But, you know, we just try to continue to do what we can do. But me personally, I don't look into that.
AD, what was the frustration level of just having to watch from the sidelines for so long? And was it hard not to just have a belief that things a lot of times could have played out differently if you had been out there?
A lot of ifs, you know. I think we got enough to be able to win basketball games. When I'm not on the floor, when not Bronco on the floor, you know, we have a roster that's very talented. We just haven't been able to put it all together. But I say it's just frustrating just not being out there. You know, I want to be out there every game, obviously, with these guys. And just haven't been able to be honest. But I know these guys go out and fight, and like I say, they done everything in their power to try to keep us in it, and it motivates me from the sideline even more to try to get back as quickly as possible to kind of be in this dogfight with these guys. And we're in a dogfight right now, especially in the last 5. The situation we're in, losing the tiebreaker both with San Antonio and New Orleans. So we're in a dogfight, which adds to that motivation.
AD, I don't remember when it was, but you sat in this room at one point this season and felt like it could be a snap and this team could win 10 straight, in a moment. And obviously that hasn't happened or come close to happening. But is it a belief that you guys can go 5-0 down the stretch? Is it hope? Do you know what I mean? The difference, I guess, between the two?
I think it's a little bit of a lot of belief. I mean, we know what we're fighting for. We know the position that we're in, and we're playing against top teams. Besides OKC, so I think we have to believe. I don't think it's hope. We don't play off of hope, man. Let's hope we win this game. We have to believe, and I believe. I know this guy to my left believes, and everyone in that locker room believes. We got to go out and get it done. It's that simple. We have to win these games, and we got to have that approach.
Brian, over your basketball career, not just your life, your basketball career, have you ever been tested this much, and how are you dealing with this?
Have I been? Yeah, for sure. I mean, my first 2 years in the league, I didn't make the playoffs. My first year in Miami, I made it all the way to the finals and lost. That was the worst experience of my basketball career. That year in Miami, my first year in Miami. I've already talked about it over and over again, but getting all the way to that point where we all came together for, and then losing in that finals, being up 2-1. That was the worst summer of my life, but also the best summer of my life too, because I really got an opportunity to hone in on my game that summer, and became a whole new basketball player going into that following season. But yeah, this is. I hate losing. This is not what none of us signed up for, obviously, but it's not the worst thing that's happened to me so far. And that's not even close.
AD, you mentioned defense being one of the things that was a little bit harder to come back for you, and Nikola Jokic on Sunday is not necessarily an easy matchup. How are you processing or thinking about that one?
I don't know the lineups. I don't know if we're going to start big or, I'll be guarding him. But it's always fun going against him. Obviously, it's not a easy matchup. He does so much for their team and on the floor with the scoring ability, his passing. But like I say, I'll be ready to go, to be honest. I love playing against him. But, that's why we have a team. It's going to be team defense against him and all the other players. But like I said, we got to have the mindset that's also a must-win in these last 5 as well.
Thanks, Bob.